Hello my loves, my name is Mina. Welcome to my channel Mina Reads, and today we're starting a new weekly reading vlog. I think this week I want to read some books that are kind of outside of my comfort zone. I feel like I would define my comfort zone as like smutty romances and then like violent fantasy, and there's just kind of no in between when it comes to my reading, but I want there to be some more variety. And I feel like before I started my booktube channel I definitely had that variety, but I don't know, I want to bring that back into my reading experience because I feel like I'm a little bit in a rut, a little bit bored of reading smutty romance. I mean, that might be a stretch, not bored, but I just feel like sometimes something can get oversaturated, you know what I'm saying? So this week I want to read some different stuff, but I do have a little stack right here of books that are slightly outside of my comfort zone but that I'm very interested in reading. So the first one is Darling by Kate Ancrum, and this is like a YA thriller mystery. I believe it's supposed to be a thriller. Then I have The Beautiful Ones. I'm not 100% sure what this is about, but I think this is like a historical fantasy romance type thing. And finally, Normal People, which is like one of the most hyped books of the past like 2 to 3 years, and it has a TV show. I watched a few episodes of the show and I liked it, so I want to see about reading the book. Okay y'all, so I'm reading Darling by Kate Ancrum. This is a like modern Peter Pan retelling. So we're following Wendy Darling. Her and her family have recently moved to Chicago and she's new to the city. Her and her parents kind of have a strained relationship because they're like super strict, and they kind of don't let her go anywhere or do anything. So this one day, a guy, Peter, breaks into her house and he invites her to a party. And her, being the dumbass that she is, she decides to go with him, you know, kind of to spite her parents because her and her parents have recently had like falling out. So she decides, you know, fuck it, I'm gonna go out with him. And so her, Peter, and Tinkerbell are having like this night of adventures, and things are very quickly getting out of hand. So I have read like 100-ish pages of this. Wendy is an absolute clown. Like, I understand that her parents are super strict, and I think part of, I don't want to say like the moral of the story, but like one of the, I guess, important parts of the story is that like when you have parents that are super strict, they just cultivate teens who will act out and who will behave rashly and who will just like do things and engage in risky behaviors. They just won't tell their parents. And I think that that's kind of like part of the central themes of the story, kind of, is the fact that her parents being as strict and as kind of like oppressive as she thinks they are, it motivates her to engage in this incredibly risky and unsafe behavior. And things with her and Peter are very quickly getting out of hand, and she is finding out that Peter and the Lost Boys are not all that they appear to be, and that Peter is a fucking weirdo. Peter seems so creepy in this. Wendy is so unhinged for engaging in this behavior. But one of my favorite things about the story so far is that Wendy has a friend named Eleanor. Throughout this whole like wild night that she's having with Peter and Tinkerbell and the Lost Boys or whatever, she's like texting her friend Eleanor, and she's like sharing her location with Eleanor, and she's like, Eleanor, if things go sideways, send my location to the police, call the cops, call my parents. And like, I think that's really interesting. I like the use of like the technology and everything. So I'll update you once I know more, or once anything in particular happens. All right, hopefully y'all can see me. So I'm currently still reading Darling, and I'm 180 pages into it, and to be completely honest, like I'm not feeling it, which I'm really sad about because I absolutely love Kate Ancrum. I've loved both of her previous works, so the fact that this is not fully working for me is like kind of upsetting. I was really hoping that this would be a 5-star read, but I don't know. I mean, there's still like 100 pages left, so I feel like Kate Ancrum always sticks the landing when it comes to the ending, so maybe the ending will really like get me there. But as of right now, I'm not 100% loving it. I'm just a bit bored. I feel like this story is kind of like building towards something, but I don't care. But there are some queer people in it, so that's fun. Tinkerbell is in a relationship with this other girl that's indigenous. I can't remember what her name is because I was listening to the audiobook, but she's with this other girl that's indigenous, and they're like very cute together. Also, supposedly Tinkerbell and that other girl used to be Peter's ex-girlfriends, and now they're dating, which very messy. But I don't know, I don't know how I feel about this book. Let me just keep reading and I'll see if I have anything else to tell you, because right now it's all just a bit meh. Okay, I'm gonna say something that's a spoiler for Darling, so if you don't want to see spoilers for this book, like, avoid this section of the video. I'll put something on the screen so you can know when the spoilers are done. But okay, so the big plot twist is that Peter is like 36 years old, and like the whole time we think that Peter is a teenager, but really he's 30-fucking-6.
Wait a damn minute. Wait a damn.
To be honest, like, I thought that the book was going to take like a supernatural turn and we were going to find out that Peter was like immortal or something, but like no, he's just 36. So then I have to question, like, what is his skincare routine? Because how the fuck is this man 36 and he looks like a teenager, like to the point where Wendy thought that he was like 17. What is his skincare routine? I know he's a terrible person. We don't like him. He's like a predator and stuff. But like, what is his skincare routine? Just like, let me know, K. Ancrum, because how? So as I knew it would be, the twist was really good. I knew that it was going to be good because K. Ancrum always does a really good job with just the endings of her books and the way that she brings everything together. So the ending was very good. I liked the way that everything was revealed and all that. But I must say that overall, I thought the story was just not, it was not giving me what I wanted. I really wanted it to be this really suspenseful vibe. I thought it was supposed to be a thriller. Like, the marketing said that it was a thriller. It did not thrill me. It was not super suspenseful. It was just kind of boring. I do think that, like, I like this interpretation of the Peter Pan story, and I like, you know, evil Peter. I enjoy that, but I just feel like the story was a bit forgettable, and it just really did not leave the kind of impact on me that I've come to expect from K. Ancrum's books. So I am quite disappointed, but I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars. Like, it wasn't bad. It was very easy read. I read the whole book in a single day, so like, I don't feel like it was horrible, and I don't regret having read it, but I also don't feel like it was the most emotionally impactful book that I've ever read. So yeah, but the epilogue was cute. I liked it. So yeah, 3 stars, and I'm gonna move on to something else.
5 hours later.
It feels necessary to say that it is 4:30 a.m. I am 115 pages into this book, and I fucking love it. Page 130 just broke me, and I feel like I might never recover. Like, why would you say that?
Days seem sometimes as if they'll never end. Sun takes its heels to taunt you, but after sunlit days, one thing stays the same. Rises the moon.
Am I like visible? I haven't been sleeping, so we love that for me. But basically, I was up at like 3 a.m. last night. I decided I was going to read something, so I ended up picking up The Beautiful Ones. What an amazing decision this was. This book is so good, you guys, you don't even understand. So The Beautiful Ones by Sylvia Moreno Garcia is about 3 main characters. So we have Hector. Hector is like a telekinetic, and he's a performer, so he does magic shows. And then we have this other girl named Nina. She's also telekinetic, but she's kind of like a debutante making her debut in society. She's going on her grand season. And then there's another person named Valerie, and Valerie is Nina's like cousin through marriage. This is kind of like a historical fantasy, so it has a historical kind of like Regency era vibe, but it is completely fantasy. The locations are fantastical, and obviously 2 of the people in it, like, they have telekinetic abilities, so there's also that aspect of like a little bit of magic. The story here is that Hector, he comes to this country called, or this city called LaSalle or something like that. I think that's how you pronounce it. He comes to this city called LaSalle because he wants to meet up with Valerie. Valerie is like his long lost love. They were super in love 10 years ago, and he wants to see her again. So he comes back to this country of LaSalle to meet up with her, or hopefully to see her again. he goes to a party to meet her, and he ends up meeting Nina instead. So Nina, she gets like an immediate crush on him because he's like the only other telekinetic that she's ever met, and she wants to like learn about telekinesis from him and stuff like that. But just in general, she has a crush on him. She likes him. And Nina is such an amazing character. She's so sweet, so wholesome, and just like earnest in all of her passions, and like all of her feelings are just, she feels them so deeply, and I love her. Nina is just an icon, a legend. She's just so sweet and amazing. And I don't know, something so beautiful about just the very pure and simple way that she feels about Hector. But Hector, he basically comes up with this whole like, I don't want to call it a scheme, but he basically decides that he's gonna like try and court Nina because he wants to be able to get closer to Valerie, who is Nina's like cousin-in-law. So he's using Nina to get closer to Valerie, and so he can relive like the glory days of the past when him and Valerie were super duper in love with each other. So it's this very dramatic, scandalous scenario, particularly because Valerie is a married woman. Oh my fucking god, it's so good. Like, this book gave me everything. I didn't finish yet. I'm like halfway through. But this book is absolutely giving me every single thing that I could ever possibly want in a book. Like, I love this setting. I love Silvia Moreno Garcia's writing. It's so beautiful. I'm in love with the characters. I think that they're such complex people. And as much as Hector, like, he ain't shit, he really is not shit, I still love him, and I still want him and Nina to be able to be happy together, just because I know that he makes Nina happy, but he ain't shit. Let's just jot that one down, because he's so trifling for everything that he does in his book so far. Like, what did he gain from that? But it's just like, I just love it. I love the drama of it. The scandal is very like a bit melodramatic. I'm loving the romance aspects, like the tragic love story aspect. It's just giving on all of the levels. I'm eating this book up. It's so good. Like, you guys have to try it if you have not already. I don't know exactly how to describe it in like a more concise manner, but this book is so fucking good. Like, So anyway, now that I've provided like some slight context to the book, that's why that line absolutely broke me when Hector is talking to his friend and he's like, I think she wanted nothing from me, nothing but to let her love me, because Hector is finally hit with the fact that Nina loved him so simply, so purely and earnestly, and he just fucking squandered it all because he's living in the past in this relationship with Valerie that wasn't even that fucking deep. Like, I scream. What is Silvia Moreno Garcia doing to me? This was not what I expected at all, because honestly with Mexican Gothic, I was very much ambivalent about it for the most part, but this, like, every single word of this book is just gripping me up. Like, my chest feels tight. It's so good. Let me get myself together so I can finish reading the book, because it's so good. I've just realized that basically nothing is happening in this, but I still love it. Like, I still love it. It's very much like an internal like character study, and it's about the character dynamics and the relationships between these characters, and I love every single minute of it. But to quote the infamous Pride and Prejudice review, this book is nothing but people visiting each other's houses. That's literally it. Like, that's the only thing that's happening. I love it so much. Like, I literally cannot contain how much I love this book and how it's making me feel so many things. There's this character, Valerie, I talked to you about her before. I cannot stand this bitter bitch. Like, I understand her mentality, I understand, but I don't like her. I do not like her one bit. Like, she makes me sick. And the disdain that she has for Nina, the best person who ever existed, like, she's sick, she's twisted. How can you not like Nina? It just doesn't make sense. I finished, you guys, and it was so good. Oh my god, it was so good. 5 stars if it was somehow point of confusion. Like, obviously it's 5 stars. I loved it so much. And like, listen, Hector may be a clown, right? He did some very shiesty shit in this book, and he may be a clown, but I most definitely would show up to the circus for him every time. I'm right there with you, Nina, because it's just something about him. Just something about him. But bro, Hector and Nina, I love them so much. I love them so goddamn much. This book was just, it was excellence on all levels. Like, it was just so good to me. It was everything that I didn't even know that I wanted, needed, or liked in fiction. And I stand so heavily. Ugh, it was so good. It was so good. 5 stars. 5 stars.
Close your weary eyes. I promise you that soon the autumn comes to darken.
Okay, so I started reading Normal People. Besties, if something don't change quick and in a hurry, this book is about to get a whole 1 star. I cannot believe my eyes. So this is a story, it's like a love story between these 2 characters, Marianne and Colonel. They met in high school, and they kind of formed this like secret relationship. They're hooking up with each other, and this story takes place over a number of years as they have this kind of on again, off again relationship. So I have watched the TV show for it, and I thought that the TV show was actually really good. So I was pretty excited to read the book. What the hell was that sound? I was pretty excited to read the book, but baby, it's very much not giving in any way, shape, or form. It is so dull. It took me like over an hour to read 20 pages. We hate this for me, and maybe going out of my comfort zone is really not the move, because what the fuck is this? Like, this feels like a screenplay, you know? Like, this feels like something that is meant to be acted, is something that's supposed to have things added to it, like the visual medium, like the actor's performance. Like, something is very much missing here. There's no flavor, there's no impact. Like, everything is told in the most dull and uninteresting way imaginable, and I kind of can't believe it. And people read this and enjoyed it? Like, are we sure? Did I just get like the wrong printed copy or something? Because how the fuck? Also, can I just say that Marianne, like, she's messing with Colonel or whatever, and he kisses her, and after he kisses her for the first time, he's like, don't tell anyone. And she's like, oh, who am I gonna tell? Like, I don't know anyone in school. And Marianne is kind of thinking to herself, like, oh, you know, he told me not to tell anyone, he's keeping it a secret, blah blah blah. And she's kind of like blushing and kikiing and fucking chuckling over it. Like, girl, that's embarrassing. Like, why are you want to be with him, and he wants to keep the fact that he even kissed you a secret, and then you're going to give him some coochie? Like, the self-esteem is incredibly low on this woman. I'm so sad to see it. Like, somebody need to give her a hug and a pep talk. I'm sorry to say this, and I know that the stans are going to be mad at me, but baby, Normal People is absolutely not the moment. It's not giving what it's supposed to have gave. This is the most boring, most lifeless, most flavorless thing that I have ever experienced in my entire life. I literally cannot even fathom how anybody enjoyed the reading experience of this book. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad story, but is told in the most lifeless way possible. It's on the chopping block. It's gonna have to be a DNF. Okay, y'all, so since I really didn't enjoy like that modern literary masterpiece, I think I'm going to end the vlog here. But thank you so much for taking this little reading journey outside of my comfort zone. I would definitely say that I prefer being in my comfort zone than outside of it, but doing this video did help me discover a new favorite. The Beautiful Ones was so amazing. Please read it. So I mean, maybe stepping outside of my comfort zone is good sometimes, but not all the time, because we had a 3-star, we had a 5-star, and then we had a DNF. So I don't really know, but thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in my next video, hopefully. Bye, you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe, and a special thank you to all of my wonderful patrons.